All right, all right, all right. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. How are we doing today? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Everything good? How are we doing today? How are we doing today, everybody? All good? You guys here? Let me know if you can hear me and everything will be fine. I just double check. Yeah, you guys hear me. Okay. Well, guys, welcome to another new live stream. In this live stream, well, I'm gonna be covering facial expressions, and I'll be drawing and teaching you a few things about facial expressions, about tips about how to draw them, things I have learned in the past, things I have learned recently. Some things are basic, but they are important, and I kind of compile a few tips and tricks of how I tackle expressions. I haven't warmed up yet, so I'm kind of like trying to warm up really quickly here while I talk. I know you guys have a lot of different questions about different things, so I will save those questions for later on as I kind of explain different things about the facial expressions and all that. For those who are in Spanish, I'm gonna say a message right now. Para los que están aquí, que hablan español, arriba está el link para el canal de español de mi canal de español. Y los lunes estoy haciendo el stream, el directo, a las 3 de la tarde. Para mí son las 3 de la tarde, aquí en California son las 3 de la tarde. Y los lunes. so for here, like, it's gonna be mostly English. I'm gonna focus on speaking English here because I'm also trying to making this video for later for people to understand everything. So I don't wanna like mix things. And yeah, like I want to explain a few concepts, a few things I have learned about drawing expressions. I'm gonna draw a few things. I'm gonna show you some files of things I have done in the past, things that are beneficial when drawing expressions, and things that could help you to improve your characters and help you to create better drawings and be able to bring to life more your characters, because there's always something more that you can bring when you're drawing. You want to have better expressions. Usually we tend to draw the same expressions more often than not, and that could be a problem. That's a problem when you're limited to a few expressions that you like to draw and you like to have. And unfortunately, that's what happens when we do our illustrations. Happen more often than not that we end up drawing the things that are comfortable for us or the expressions that we like to draw the most, and our artwork can suffer from that because we want to create characters that are appealing, that have story, that have something to tell, but also the expressions fit the character and also helps us to separate our characters from other characters in a story, in our drawings, and our way of doing things for, let's say, a story or something like that, right? So I want to say hello to Dama. I want to say a few hello to Marisa Sosa. I'm recognizing some of the few names here. So thank you for dropping. Gracias, chicos, por ver el directo. Thank you, thank you. Thank you to Marisa for the support, and also thank you for being patient because last weekend there was no live stream. There was no a live stream because I was busy and I was doing other things with the channel, and well, also good to have a break. I've been, however, streaming a lot on Twitch and doing a lot of things on Twitch. And so you guys can find me there whenever you feel like. And on Twitch, I also do like illustrations, drawings, and stuff like that as usual. But it's more relaxed. Here, I try to teach something so you guys can come back later and practice and learn from it. Okay. So I'm gonna start with the first things. I'm gonna start already getting into it, right? I think it's gonna be useful for us to start drawing and start getting into it. So emotions, feelings, things to our characters want to say, things to want to improve. Thank you. My hair looks pretty nice. Yeah, I was doing my self-portrait here, right? This is me. This is me, but it's actually not me. Right? So, and I'm not evil all the time. Right? So, I wanted to start with, and let me get the right brush for the things I'm gonna be drawing today. Seems fair enough. Let me get the right brush. Sometimes I forget which ones are good. Right? So I'm gonna start with some tips, and I want you to kind of like pay attention to these things. So, because these are the important parts that I want to clarify first. That people who are like drawing characters and everything, many of you already know these. So if you know these, well, good, good. I'm glad that you know this stuff. But it's always good to refresh, to keep it in our minds when we are doing our things. And I'm gonna show you some of my work that I did a few years ago when I wanted to. I was taking a lot of animation classes because I felt like my drawings were okay. Though I was doing good with my drawings, but I felt like my characters and my drawings were. I knew that I was limited, and I didn't have enough range to play with my character designs or be different. We tend to draw, again, as I said, we can tend to go into our safe zone when we draw the things that we like, and we might get commissions on those things, and we might get work doing the same things that we like to draw, and which is good. Is good overall, but we can improve, especially in the emotional aspect of our illustrations, of our work, right? And one of the things that we need to like get started to working with different with different characters and expression is going to be, let me start bringing some of the pages of my portfolio that I did back in 2014, something like that. So these are some of the pages of my portfolio, and one of the things that I'm bringing here for you guys to see is that if you guys want to make a character and you want to work with your characters, with your designs and everything, and you guys need to design the character maybe like in a 3/4 view, but then you want to definitely have a view of the character, like profile, 3/4, and on the side, because you need to you need to know the proportions of your character. You need to know what size of the head, what are the main proportions of the different characters, and what are you gonna draw, right? Because I'm sure like many of you have the same problem, that you want to draw the same character with different expressions, but you cannot do it, right? Especially if the character might have like a different way of the shape of the face and stuff. So it doesn't matter the character, by the way. Yeah, I think it's good to start at a 3/4 or to start designing the character, but it is not like a rule, okay? This is not like a rule, okay? It's not a rule that you have to, but it's good to start in 3/4 because you can, work with the three-dimensionality. But also it can be profile. It's also interesting to use the profile, and then you can solve later the other views of the character, right? But this is the most important part, especially if you're gonna draw one character. It's just to know what are the features that the character has. So when you draw them, you know what to do and you know the shapes that you do. So that way, you have a consistent character that works in different poses and all that. This is the main challenge that I see is really hard. Even for me, it was hard. But you have to keep track of the size of the eyes, the size of the mouth, the size of the different elements of the artwork. Okay, so if I go here and I bring that file here, I can quickly like tell you what are the what is the main shape of these characters, right? And that's what we're looking for, to find a way to find the main shape of it. I will say the first one is more like a circle, like here, and then this will be my main shape of my character, right? All of this will be the main shape, right? And from there I'm gonna have my nose and I'm gonna have the rest, right? And the good thing is that if you go here and then you do your design, you're gonna be able to break it down into like the view from the front, from the side, and you have to solve these problems. And this part could be hard, but once you do this, it will train you to do different characters in different positions. Like, because you can draw something like this, but then you have to draw in a like a frontal view, and it's gonna be hard because you have to kind of match the same proportions so the character has the same like feeling, right? So these proportions are gonna be important to keep them in track. Even if your character change, if your character opens the mouth, or if your character has other expressions, as long as the proportions are consistent and the shapes are basically the same, you probably won't have like less trouble, right? So let's say you have this character here, and it's fine, but you know, and also you have to think about the parts of the body of the face that moves, right? Mostly what it moves is our jaw, right? All of the jaw moves, right? Our jaw is gonna move, and that's the part that we're gonna have to keep in track, right? Mostly the jaw, and yeah, the jaw is the part that moves most of the face on the face, right? The jaw. So you can go here and you know, you can draw this like this, and maybe you can open the jaw, right? But keeping certain parts the same, right? Try to keep this in the same. And I haven't designed the teeth, so probably it's a good chance to do that, right? So you want to keep certain elements steady, like the ears and the design of the hair and everything, like in the same spot. But if you want to like make the character open the mouth, you know, maybe something like this could open the mouth, right? And then you can play with the eyebrows and all the parts that move, okay? You know, this guy eats, so you have to think about also like, well, this character, what he does. He likes to eat because he's, you know, chunky, maybe a little bit fat, overweight. So he likes to eat plenty. So he's happy because there's gonna be food coming soon, and he's hungry, you know. And so by keeping the proportions, we might be able to have a better way of doing things. Like, it's good when you have different things moving on and off of the face, especially the jaw. Okay, so once you have like the character and the shape decided of your main character, of whatever you're drawing, it's good to break it down. This is kind of cartoony, right? So even though it's cartoony, it's okay. We can do also like anime style kind of drawing. We can adjust this to any kind of style, basically, right? We can do like anime. We can create our our base for it. But we have to keep in track of the, for example, the design of the eyelashes, right? It has 3 eyelashes, so you want to make sure that that part of the design shows that the eyebrows may be a little bit smaller, and our character is more like this. I feel it's easier to go a little bit more wide with our expressions. We are working more in like a Disney cartoony style, of course, than the anime manga, because I feel like anime expressions are more I mean, they're consistent and everything, but they can be really crazy because they have more, they still have like a lot of like freedom, right? But I think it's easy to keep track in faces that have a little bit more of a structure, and that probably will help. Right? And we usually tend to draw something very something like this, right? Something cute, something smiling, and something really like, you know, safe, right? Or we usually can go and make it more like serious, or maybe lower the eyelids and then give it like more of a mysterious look to the character. Some of probably the main expressions are gonna be a little bit more standard, right? But you wanna have range, and that's the point of this. No, you wanna like convey an emotion, convey a feeling on your character, and you want to bring that to your drawings, right? So it's about keeping track of the elements of your drawing. Okay. So I'm gonna show you another page, and that page it has more of the expression studies that I did, and that page will be this one. This is from El Tigre. El Tigre was another character that I designed for my portfolio called El Tigre, right? So this is another character I did many years ago in the past. And yeah, I did many years in the past for my animation portfolio, right? And again, I study a lot different styles of drawing, different ways of people do their expressions, right? So so it's good when you do your characters. It's good to have like a different range, right? You want to cover smiling, you want to cover like angry, or you want to cover crying, depending on the character, right? Because if it's a character that cries a lot, you will need to have that study of that expression that you have, right? So these characters that I have here, these faces are the ones that I probably won't gonna have a lot on my comics, or on my, what's the name of this, or comics or animation or whatever, right? So we actually want to have this set, but this is not done unless we have that kind of like design already set. So that's why before I go into like tell you how to draw expressions and to draw all this stuff, these are things that are really important, because it takes some time. I learned so much doing this portfolio when I did it, because I have to come up with all of these expressions, and I applied and I saw different expressions from other sources that helped me to bring this back, and it was a challenge. This was not easy, and probably if I do it like now it will be easier, but it was not easy because I have to like bring the feeling of the character, right? And that's kind of like what we want, and that can be applied for animals or other things, right? Also, these on animals as part of my putting on my portfolio, right? And trying to cover different styles, right? Even though I draw a lot of like anime pin-ups and stuff like that, I personally wanted to improve my range and the things that I could draw, and all of these were still a challenge because I wanted to bring a characteristic of this animal, and that as soon as you see it, you see, okay, these are playful, or this guy is a little bit dumb, or doesn't know what to do, or it's like always like suspicious about something, or you know, like the koala, he just like lazy and just like to eat the leaf, you know, the eucalyptus. or the rhino here, like, is like very confident, so it's like friendly, you know, he's chilling, right? So, and the owl is more like, what are you looking at, right? so so when I did these drawings, I didn't did the drawing first. Didn't do the drawing and then figure out expressions. So that's the thing. Try to figure out the expression of the character and then work on the drawing. Don't start drawing the character first and then add expression later on, because it's better when you think about the feeling of the things. And this is what I'm talking about right now. These are things that I learned from my teachers. This is I haven't make up this shit. I didn't make up this, right? This is not like I came with this formula or anything. This is just the things I've learned through the years and what I'm giving to you guys, right? And I'm sure many other animators will probably come with the same things, right? So you have to think about personality, or you have to think about an action, or you have to think about an scenario where something is happening to these characters, right? It could be something really, really, really simple, but it will bring so much out of the characters, you know. So it will bring a lot about the characters, and then you will have a more successful drawing. So for that, I did a lot of studies and practices and a lot of that, and I put also those on my portfolio at the time to show a little bit more of range of different things that I did. And these were done during live drawing. I was doing live drawing, and the models they have a certain expressions, but I tried to push it a little bit more and a little bit further, right? I wanted to make them more, you know, bring something on these quick sketches. And but what I learned from it through time is the drawing just came out better every time I thought about a feeling. I thought about like, I'm the character right now, right? Whether it's an animal, a girl, or a wolf, or a magician, or a ninja, or whatever, right? So you have to, if you really want to bring that, you have to also adapt yourself to these kind of things, right? Like every character will have they are saying something, right? So I don't see it just as like, oh, that's a nice drawing, whatever it is you have here, right? Like, for example, I would say like the wolf here is like, whoa, why have you imprisoned me? Why are you doing this to me? You know, they could be saying something like that. The vampire here in the middle of the page will be like, oh, let me find this book here. It's on the shelf BAA45, you know? And then the other guy is like, on the bottom is like, why are you eating my apples? Don't eat my apples, you know? Could be something very simple. It doesn't have to be too deep, you know? Or the girl at the very top in the corner, right corner, she likes diamonds, like, oh my god, I love diamonds, thank you so much. Oh, I will do everything for this diamond, right? The guy at the bottom is like, well, don't mess with me, bro. I'm gonna kick your ass, right? Some of them doesn't have to be really difficult, right? And the girl on the left could be like, oh, somebody dropped an apple. I wonder if it's my apple or your apple, right? So some kind of story like that will also help the characters, because you're putting a dialogue into it and you are thinking about it when you draw. And it has to be very, very simple. The simple, the better, because it's gonna be more direct, and you're gonna reflect it faster on your drawing. Okay, so that will be this part of like that I brought these, right? And also, when you're making your characters, it's good to put them into a scenario where they are where they have a situation, but every character will be different, right? And this was one exercise that I did for my class back during those years, right? And it was like having somebody driving a car, right? we all, well, I don't know if you guys can drive your car or whatever, you know, but everybody drives in a different way. So how would you put different people to you know, to drive, to do the same situation, same condition, but different characters, right? So for example, this was one of the, we have to do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we did 10 different characters, the same situation, driving. So this was like actually number 9. I don't know what it's just showing me the first 9. So the second one will be like a mom carrying the kids, you know, hey kids, behave, we have to go, right? Like stay put, right? The next one will be like, oh man, this party was so good, I really have, you know, and he pass out, and then hopefully he didn't crash, right? The other one will be like, well, the police comes and like, whoa, these guys have some stuff in the car or whatever, like, you know, kind of like, beware, I'll have a gun here, and the guy's like suspicious, you know. The other one would be like an old lady, like going to, I don't know, she's going to play bowling with the girls, so she's already old, and she's driving, smoking cigarette with the window open, like, he doesn't care, right? She's just fine driving, probably a bandwagon kind of car, like a long car, right? Then you have a dog. Surprise! You have a dog, and it's like, and somebody let the dog just drive the whole thing, and you know. But you capture that feeling that the dog is just having so much fun driving, right? And even if it's a dog, still the expression has like something going for it, right? Also have the typical old lady trying to find that a specific parking spot, but she's not sure yet how close she is to the curve, right? And like he'll be like, I'm doing this right, a little bit more maybe, and everybody's just waiting outside, like, hey, move it, right? Will be that kind of feeling, like, move it, we gotta go. What are you doing, right? Then you have like, I don't know, a bum or like a crazy dude, I don't know, somebody from, I don't know from where, like, I don't know, somebody just took the car, like, let me drive this car, I just wanna go. You know, like, I wanna get me some beers. Something like that, and it's just driving away with the car. And he's wild, he doesn't care about nobody else, right? So the expression and everything kind of sells the image of it, right? Sells the whole feeling of that character because of also the expression and how it's presented, right? And also we have, this was the first one, typical, like, well, not typical, but like a very buff, but a little insecure, shy, a little bit shy, driving the car, or just waiting for the girlfriend to go to get outside of the car, you know, like, it has that kind of like vibe, right? You know, this guy is that good person, even though he's buff and he can kind of like kick your ass, right? So, so the expression will tell a lot of the character. Even some of them, even this one, the character design. This was my kind of like my weakest one, and it was, I think, number 9 at the time. I'm talking about a couple of years in the past, you know, when I did this, right? But everyone has a different way of driving the car, right? And that's just the, you know, the feeling of this part that I want to show you, how the characters and everything, according to the character, you want to adapt the expression, right? And okay, the other part, let's moving on. Apart from this, we want to be able to express a whole range, probably, of different emotions. But before I go there, think about something very simple. Think about something like this. This is from Shion King. Shion King is a character designer, or I don't know if he's still working at Disney. He's a character designer that worked on Disney. He did Paperman. He helped in the Tangle movie. He has done a lot of things. He's a master of this stuff, and it's very simplistic and it's very to the point, right? like the feeling of the whole drawing is very like everybody's a fan of this girl, but the other Power Ranger or whatever it is, they just like, okay, whatever, we don't get any attention, we're not cool, right? So, but the expression also tells about this character. She's like, okay, I'm gonna just sign these, like, you know, tells a lot about like cocky and maybe smoking, so she doesn't keep up with herself. She just everybody loves her so much, so why to keep up with this, right? She's all the time going good. So yeah, so this is like this is like a good drawing that will tell you a lot of the characters. Also, this is from another character designer at Disney, Cory Loftis. Cory Loftis, he designs Zootopia, and he designed a bunch of characters as well. And I follow him for a long time, but just the feeling of the characters here, it tells you a lot, and it's just like it goes really straight to the point, right? Straight to the point. I actually don't know what is the alien. Probably he say, well, I can see the photo. You see, there's a storytelling there. Like there's a photo of the girlfriend that broke up, maybe, and then Adele probably singing the hello song, right? Hello. So this guy is just crying, like, right? But the intensity is there, right? So that's the intensity of the characters and the expressions that we have here for this. So these are just examples for like something that is very simple and straight to the point. Something that I think they still do to this day is to create a base. Oops. To create a sculpture of the character, and mostly in studios. They will create a sculpture basically to understand the planes and the forms of the characters when trying to do expressions, right? And I think I have it here. So I wrote here some of the tips, okay? And one of the tips that I have here is that I wrote on my paper, because I wrote a paper with a bunch of stuff, is build a library. So if you're gonna start doing your or you already have, keep building it. I have a Pinterest, by the way, on my how's it called, on the description of this video, so you guys can see that. And so basically, like the things you have to like do for expression is not go along and try this on your own. Just like maybe try to see where you are at, but if you should start building a library of reference of different things, of different photos, of building a library. I would say from real photos, real people get from like get some reference from other artists, but like only like highly skilled artist reference. So what I mean by this is like look at the professionals who are working in the industry, that are like working on films, that are working on production, making all these animated films. All of these guys who are working on these movies or in animation, they have a high skill level, right? High skill artists. So you should look for artists that have this kind of reference, like I said, Shion King or Cory Loftis, or like all these people who work on the Disney fields, right? This is important because I see people teaching how to do expressions and all of this stuff online, or like there's material out there, but if there's I see some things with proportions that are off, things that are not connecting well, and I want to go and learn from the best, so I want to go to the best to learn. So maybe whatever I say here, keep going further and don't stay with me, and then just go to like take this and then go to like check some animation artists, people who working in the animation industry, and then look for that. Because I have worked, I've done my drawings and everything, but there are people who are like masters at this. So I will look at those people, and not even like a like intermediate artists or people who are not completed yet in the industry, unless you see that the drawings you say like, wow, this expression is amazing. And when I'm talking about like amazing expressions, I will say something like this, right? Something like this will be like, to me, like, well, these are amazing expressions. This is an amazing range of expressions of one character. And this is from the movie Tangle. This is a mother, right? This is the mother of the Rapunzel. And the range of expressions and the range of everything is subtle, but it's so good. So good. So these are the kind of the reference that I will save on my computer. I will have it at hand when I want to reference to these. Like, these are people who are working in the industry. So I will definitely collect these kind of things from these people, right? And not only that, I also have obviously I have these ones. There, if you go to Pinterest, you will find them. You just always get Rapunzel, or sorry, Tangle, and you will get, a lot of different expressions that you can save and keep it. Okay, let me get some water. Right, so save and have like reference of these of your animated shows and everything. But yeah, try to find something like I think like studying Disney, even you might not be fan of it or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just like the technique and the aspect of it. They have been working animations from like forever, so Disney movies are amazing. Even at this day, you look at that, it's like, wow, right? Also, you get Tangled, you get the Rapunzel, all her expressions, all of these, and notice that they use a really like open mouth and then squishing, and all of these, right? So one of the things is like build a library, get real photos, like I said, get a lot of the books of the art of whatever you want, like animation, no? I would highly recommend to get, again, of course, I know there are more, there are always more. These are not the ones that you have to get, but these are the ones that I recommend because I have them. I would say Tangle. Recently, I got the Zootopia. I also will get a Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph, Zootopia, Tangle. There's a bunch, but the ones that have all of these, Toy Story, all of these, they can have all of this range. I would say also Kung Fu Panda. And these are, maybe some of them are hard to find, some of them are easy to hard to find, but having this library at your hand is good. Maybe it's hard for you to get it, but you maybe want to get it online, a PDF or whatever, I don't know, right? So build the library, get reference from high skill artists, and most of them are gonna be from here. And one book in specific that I will recommend for you guys before I start drawing and doing all of that, and it's a very cheap book, and it's really good. It's one of the best books I bought, and it's so cheap, and you maybe can find it for like $6. It's called maybe you can find the PDF online too, so you don't need to buy it, but it would be better if you buy it, although I think the guy who made it is already dead. Cartooning the head and figure. By, what's the name of this guy? Jack Ham. M-and-N. Jack Ham, right? So this guy, this book of this guy is a red book. It's really good. It's very cheap. It's good. It has a lot of expressions, very simplified. A little bit dated because it's a little bit old. Especially the some of the content and the style of drawing is old, but the amount of information that is on every page is like more than many of the tutorials you will find on YouTube. Usually YouTube is a tutorial about something in specific and goodbye, 3 tips about being a good artist, things you shouldn't do about whatever. But this book in specific, every page is like will blow your mind, like the little things. Even if the art style is not the things you want, it's just the information that is there, right? So these are the things that I wrote in terms of books or whatever. You can keep exploring. I build a library. Obviously, let me bring this a little bit down. So I forgot something. It's just to have. If you don't have already, get a Pinterest. Get Pinterest and make a board. I already link on the description of this video my board of the expressions that I might be using here. I might be missing one or another, but they are there. Okay. So go to Pinterest and start building your board. I think mine's like facial expressions, and then you can go from there, and it's like keep putting you in a row, and then you go to the forest because there's a lot of good things. But again, look for high quality drawings. I don't wanna be like, oh, telling like, oh guys, don't look at like semi-intermediate artists, because I wouldn't tell you like, look at me when I was learning at this. I wouldn't tell you like, oh, look at this. I'm learning to do this, and I'm gonna teach you right now. No, I would rather have hired. I went to the school for this stuff because I really wanted to learn from the best. And so facial expressions, and this is something that is have to be practiced. It's good to have a wide range, right? So make your Pinterest and create a board, or join Pinterest. And it took me a while for me, actually. Pinterest, I thought it was just for fashion, and I thought it was just fashion and stuff like that. It was at the beginning, no? But the boards here are really really good, and you can make your own, and you can join mine, or you can see whatever is there. So these are the things in terms of reference materials and all of this stuff. Okay. All right. So I think I covered this part. Obviously, there's more. there's more. A lot of things. Okay. Let me get some water, because I'm dying here. I'm talking like crazy. When I lose my voice. Okay. So, all right. By the way, I forgot to add the G here. I'm writing too fast, but it doesn't matter. The important is the information. Okay. So these are the things I've learned and things that I know and whatever. Obviously, I don't assume that I have all the knowledge for this stuff. So take this as a part of whatever I'm teaching you or telling you, and then take it from there and go further and investigate and gauge the books you like, and then start from there. So whatever I'm saying is not like a written on blood or anything, okay? And I know my thing, but I also know that there are better people who can draw this at a masterful, skillful way. So those are the people who also need to be looked at. Okay. What's next? Because I save a bunch of pictures and I want to like. Okay, I'm gonna show some of the things I've been working. Well, I'm gonna bring a few things, and then like for example, I wanted to draw or paint an expression that I rarely get the chance to do because it's very silly, and I got the chance to paint this and make a study of this expression of like Scarlet Witch. And so So I tried to study from a picture, from a reference, how I was able to like to study this, because there are things that I don't do this all the time. So obviously I'm not gonna try to challenge myself to bring in everything for imagination, because obviously the point is to make a study, right? So this is one of the things that I was doing even like last year, right? And obviously I want to keep doing more, and I feel like there's always room for more. Unfortunately, sometimes the things that we tend to draw, they tend to be pretty much the same, right? A beautiful girl smiling, or a smirk, or somebody a little bit angry, or like not happy or something. So we want to expand that and study, right? So maybe bring something funny, even if the character is not there or related to the post, but you can put a character into the expression, right? And I suggest you to find like reference from people too. Very funny faces. Some of them might be gross or weird, but that's the point, right? I also have a lot on my Pinterest. Probably need to pull from there. So I got these are older ones, but I got them because I really feel like it could help my drawing. Like we got something like this, right? I have like this one too. We can study, we can bring that. This could be like the evil character from Disney, right? The Ursula, right? Very easily you can transform that, right? We have this singer as well. We have Katy Perry too. Pretty like too much of a close up, I would say. But this is good because we can see wrinkles, we can see the parts of the face that are stretched, the parts of the faces that are relaxed or not relaxed. Okay, and obviously there's like a bunch of these, like a lot. So I'll try to find reference that are a little bit more like wild like this, because it will like push the character. Whereas if you find something like this, it's still good, but it's not strong. It could be stronger, and that's what we want. We want to like sell a little bit. Well, we can also be subtle, right? But if you are studying, then better to go a little bit further and push the expressions of what we have. Okay. So probably things like this are good. Also, this guy Clooney, like we can study these shapes and these forms and then use them, right? So get your reference. Also, if you can find some animations or animated GIF, is good. Like I personally like a lot this one in specific of Mr. Bean. It tells a lot, right? It takes a lot of changes so quickly, and then the expression change so much. He's really good, right? He's like his expressions are always like amazing because of all of the TV things that he did in the past, of course. So, but the change to it is a good thing to study, right? To stop and then draw before and after, and the final is a great kind of exercise, right? It's like even the hand is like, oh, and then like, oh, like Also, Jim Carrey, I have a bunch of photos too, but this is a good one to see, and then it tells a lot of the transition from that to here, right? So I think it's pretty funny. Anyway, it has frustrations, like it has a pause. It's at the beginning it's like a little bit quick. The reaction is quickly, and then it's like he's like, okay, I need to calm down, right? So he's like, okay, whatever, like. So it's good anyway. So things like that are good to have, because it will also help your character. So whatever it helps is good. All right. And wow, it has been already almost an hour of a lecture. Basically, this is a lecture. What I gave you right now is a lecture of the main points, right? So bringing back to whatever I said at the beginning. So the tip, because I want to write it down here, so you gotta have it, is just keep the character in model. And when I say in model, are the views, right? the frontal view, the proportions, side view, you know, and the 3/4 view as well. You want to keep the proportion. Already fucked up the proportion. You want to have the proportions, like 3/4, whatever. You want to have that in the character in model with the proportions that you design, right? And this is the part that is really hard for, especially for animators. That's the challenge, is just to add the animation, but also keep the character in model. In model is like I said, how it was designed, right? So that's one of the things. I would say to start, it will be okay. Yeah, I think this is one, like that's one of the things. Another tip is just to search for whatever character you like, and then just search on Google, like whatever, like anime character, whatever character sheet. Actually, sorry, I have a candy in my mouth. Character sheet. So these are where people draw all the expressions and draw all of this stuff, right? This will be a character sheet. This one, something like this, right? The character sheet. That's usually they have the profile view, the different views of the character. Sometimes, like, yeah, something like this is a character sheet, and they have how they are being designed. Probably the ones I have right now are more about expressions. But character sheets will give you all the information about the different models and everything. I think there are some good ones, so it's always good to check those. Okay. So those are like tips. Let me write here some tips. I know that I have more tips, but I'm trying to do this. I'm bringing this knowledge from the past, basically, because I don't, you know, this is for you guys. Okay, so before I start drawing, okay, the first thing I want to start for real, I haven't started yet, by the way. This is the beginning. I'm gonna have to break this into 2 streams, you know, because there's a lot of things to do. So I will suggest you to get something like this. I found this today on what's it called, on Pinterest, I think, and it was just like different emotions and different feelings. So it's good to have a sheet like this where you have all the different expressions without trying to come up with expression from your brain, because usually what you think about it, oh, happy, sad, angry, and whatever is fine, right? Happy, sad, angry, they're the basic ones, right? But there are other ones that are more subtle, but still different between. There's a difference between them, right? Like confident, disgusted. How do you say frightened, and then frustrated? You know, hot or being hysterical, lonely. Could be similar to sad. Of course, sad is more intense. Grieving, you know, it's like a quick reference to have a shortcut to your to the expression. Even though it's not the character, but you can take a list like this and then decide, like, oh, I'm gonna try to do hurt, I'm gonna try to do envious, I'm gonna try to do exhausted, or I'm gonna try to do negative or obstinate. That's a good one. Regretful. So if you have like the more variety you have on these expressions, well, your characters are gonna be amazing because you're gonna have so much material to put it. But it's good to have a list, and don't try to come up with the expression on your head like at the moment, right? At least when you are practicing, right? You are practicing, and then you want to like have that you want to have that reference to, just to see it and then to practice. And but very simple, kind of like emojis, right? You see emoji, you know what is it about, and this is the main source of your drawing, of whatever you're gonna draw. Okay, so it's good to have these. The more the better. The simplify it, the better. I think the expression sheet should be on my Pinterest. You can find this anyway. Like it took me like 2 seconds just to Google emotion, expression, facial expressions, and it appeared. I'm gonna try to add it to my Pinterest. I think it's already there. I'm pretty sure. I was pretty sleepy this morning, so yeah, I will upload it. I'm sure. I think I found this on Pinterest, so fine. I'll put it there, so don't worry. Right, so you have this list and you have it. It's good for like I said already. Have it for the reference, not for the drawing. I wouldn't use this for the drawing. Okay. Also, I wanted to start showing some of. I think I'm looking at my reference that I have here. I have a folder with different photos, and I wanted to talk about it. I'm covering mostly all of them, and yeah. So I guess like one of the first things that we want to start exploring is how we draw the eyes, right? How like drawing eyes, drawing the face, drawing all of that. But again, the eyes and I wouldn't say only the eyes. The eyes with the eyebrows is a set. It's something that is it has to be treated as a whole set. Don't draw the eye and then later the eyebrows. You think about the eyebrow and how it affects the shape of the eye. Okay. This is like a very importante. Okay. And actually, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna explain a concept that you guys can use when you're drawing your characters. And these are just for the eyes. Okay. Okay, let's go. So I'm probably gonna open that reference there of the eyes, and then I'm gonna try to, explore a little bit of the expressions, and I'm gonna have this as a reference next here. And let's see. Okay, so so excuse me, my drawings are not that great right now, but so it'll be fine. Anyway, I'm gonna start drawing my eyes, and one quick tip before I continue: just remember the eyes is a sphere. In that sphere, there's the iris, right? That's the iris, and then we have an eyelid, and the eyelid goes on top of that sphere, just like that. Okay. So when you look at these shapes that I'm gonna be drawing next, I don't think about them as a shape like, oh, this is the graphical shape of my drawing. You could do that in terms of design, but it will be flat, more often than not. Like, we can tend to draw a character and then actually the iris is too big, or it is like a little bit tilted to the side. It still looks okay, but that means the eye is kind of like tilted, and it could be really flat. This could be like really flat, and we could do this, right? We could do this, and this is an eye, and it's okay, but it's not completely round. It doesn't feel rounded. It doesn't have that form, So if you see this, you see the eye is not all the time. It's not a graphic shape. It's a sphere, and it's wrapped around by the eyelids, and all of them like influence to each other, right? Okay, so that's probably the first thing I have there for the eyes. Something very important to keep and to try. Okay, so I'm probably gonna draw my eyes, and I think about 3/4 view, right? I'm gonna draw my nose, something very simple, easy, right? So we have our nose, we have our eyeballs. Don't forget about the eyeballs, very important. Think about that three-dimensional space, right? But the eyeballs as well, they are inside the skull, right? This is our skull. Well, that was a bad drawing, but our eyes are inside the skull, right? So the sphere lives inside. This is our skull, and the eyes are inside the skull. So think about it that way. So our eyes are inside there, living inside there. Always think about that depth that is in there, right? This is not the most accurate drawing, but it doesn't matter. But it's just the fact that our skull is hosting our eyes there inside our skull. Kind of creepy, but it is. This is a fact. Okay, so I will treat this as my base, and we can start planning with expressions. I'm gonna start thinking about, like, for example, let's go with, the easiest one. Let's get angry, right? So what angry means, like, you will obviously point your eyebrows will go lower. The center of the eyebrows will lower, right? Go lower, just like that, right? And then we'll have our, let's say, our eyelids. Sorry, our iris is there, right? And maybe it's not looking angry at all yet, right? Maybe more like suspicious, right? Suspicious about something happening. So that means that it's not strong enough, right? I'm not doing a great job to bring that. So we want to bring that shape like more like inside the, more like deeper, right? More, bring that eyebrow lower and bring the other one also. Let's say more like suspicious instead of angry, right? So, right? He's really serious. He's looking at it. Something's happening. Like, I'm suspicious that that person is about to do something shady, or like, is this guy trying to think something stupid or something, And don't forget to draw the eyelid at the top, and then you have a serious face. Okay. However, this is how people will actually draw these things. But in reality, when we want to draw these expressions for animated characters and things like that, we have to think about them as if they're wearing a mask, like what is this movie, the Invincibles, right? So we want to make sure, we want to think about a mask. These characters are using a mask that is covering the face like this, right? I don't know if you guys have noticed that stuff there, right? We want to have a mask like this to make sure that our expressions and our eye is following this mask, right? I will probably give it some kind of three-dimensional sense to this, so we can keep track of the things that we're drawing. I'm probably gonna repeat this a couple of times, and I'm also getting used to explain this stuff. It has been a long time since the last time I did a video like this. I'm actually drawing and working on my things. All right. So let's say we take this and let's duplicate this stuff here, right? I want to duplicate this, and I think about my mask only, right? The mask is okay. It has all the shape of all the eyes and everything inside there. But what happens is, like, if we take this mask and we actually warp it and we change it, kind of like a 3D model, right? We push certain parts of our mask, and we can really go intense with this, right? So when I'm thinking about this, is like, well, this mask is actually gonna tell me a lot about the character and the expression. So I can just go back, probably lower the opacity on my first pass, and then try it again, right? I'll try this on a new layer, and I'm probably gonna go more intense, keeping in mind that kind of like mask that I drew, right? And I will show you this later with some Disney characters. It'll be easier for me to explain it there instead of drawing the whole thing. I can just draw the mask on top of them. for you guys to study. And this mask also stretch the eyelids, so probably the eyelids will go a little bit higher and more like evil like this, right? It will go up, right? Because of the eyelids are being pushed. Think about the energy, right? This being pushed up, and then the eyebrow goes down, right? Sometimes we think about angry and we like, oh, the eyebrows just go down, but you forget about the eyebrows also going pointing up, right? So there's a direction for our expression. So we want to make sure that we are representing that in our drawing. And one thing to find that is use a mirror, use reference, but use a mirror or try to get into the expressions and see your face in the mirror and see where are you like, where is the tension in your face, right? That's the best way. References are good and all that, but if you can try to get into that, your face will automatically change. You will see like how you start, like your mouth start opening and you start like getting more angry and your eyebrows start like popping, so that will help you like feel like the character. That's what the animators do, right? Maybe the eyes become smaller. This guy's like, also, something that I wanted to explain is that we tend to focus a lot on this, right? We tend to focus a lot on two eyes, and then one with the eyebrows, and the eyes like this, right? But we also have the eyelids, of course, but we also have a very important tool, and this took me a long time to understand and use it in my drawing. Is like the lower eyelid will actually give you a lot of expression. Let's say you have this, right? And this is your character, and this is the nose, whatever. And then you use the lower eyelids. It will give a different feeling to that, right? It's like more intense, a little bit more intense, more. You see? And one point is like, like the lower eyelid. Sometimes even a subtle change, it will bring that. Like for example, have this kind of angry, serious, this third person face here, right? But if I bring the lower eyelid upper, okay, this guy is getting angry, right? It's like, you fool! How dare you come to my palace, right? You will think about something like that, right? Maybe this guy from Disney. What is it? This dude from Aladdin, right? So we are like pushing that because we have those lower eyelids doing that, and the expression becomes more intense. We can add more lines. These lines you have to be careful. Don't try to do a lot of lines that don't make sense. Just don't add like, oh yeah, he's angry, so I'm gonna add a lot. Just try to place them where they belong and then exaggerate when you need. Right? Obviously, when we go to this level of expression, our nose will also be affected, right? When we do this, probably our nose will flare a little bit, will go up a little bit, and our nostril will open, depending on the character again, right? And maybe then our mouth will also be affected by the expression, right? So there are different things that are being affected on the expression. Maybe I'm jumping a little bit too much ahead, but these are the things that I want to like explain, and then I'm probably gonna go back a little bit and then explain other things, right? Because you see the nose like normal, and then when it's flare and going up, this guy is like not feeling it, right? He's not happy, right? And if we put the teeth out like this, he's not happy at all, right? So I want you to keep in mind that mask tip that I gave you, and we're gonna find that I learned about this mask obviously like going to classes and all this stuff, but also by studying people like this. This is the photo that I showed you before of all the eyes and expressions, and this is Toby Shelton. I think that's the right name. And Toby Shelton, he's a storyboard artist and DreamWorks, and I took his classes, and he has this reference on his website. Toby Sheldon, I think it is. So he uploaded this reference sheet there on his website. You should visit it. I'm gonna write it here to give proper credit where it's due, because I didn't invent this, so I'm not gonna take credit for this, especially since he's my teacher. So I'm gonna link later that his website, and he has a lot of storyboards there. I think it's Toby Sheldon. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, teacher. Actually, let me search. I don't wanna like write his name wrong and then nobody can. Probably I made a mistake. Right. Okay. Blogspot. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I get it. I got it here. So the class was intro to character design. I think it's like character design 2. What is this one? No, it's a previous one. This one here. Yeah, this is the one. I don't know, this is Shunki. I'm sorry guys, give me a second while I find this. Figure invasion for animation. Yeah, this one. This should be this one. Yeah, this one. And his name, Shelton, not Sheldon. I was close. I was real close. Oh, actually, that's not the one. So find his name, go to his website. He has amazing storyboards that you can check and you can browse and you can see. So Toby Shelton, he's again, as I say, a storyboard artist, like super. Yeah, you know, people get fired or they move to another company. This guy has been kept there because he's so good doing his work. He's like a pro. Okay. So Toby Sheldon, and he did these eyes here, right? Yeah. Okay. So he had these eyes, and he had also other reference on his website. But the point that I want to make here with this one is what I was explaining with the mask and all of these, because it's something that we can look over and then we don't keep in mind when we are working, right? So all of these have a flow, especially the eyebrows. Let me try to come here and do it. You know, there's a flow with the mask, you know, very intense that way, very open on the top, right? It's good probably to have like a center line to tell you about it. You know, this one will go up. Very sad, the eyebrows going up, the other direction is going up. Oh, notice how the eyebrows, and this is something really important that a lot of artists overlook when drawing expressions, is the eyebrows. I always look at the drawings and I see if the eyebrows are not matching with the flow, the mask. I don't think you're doing a good job. The eyebrows should flow together, right? You don't want to have an eyebrow that is not matching the other one. Even this one, you know, there's like a flow there. Although I'll probably he's very free with his line, but probably it will be like this and then like this. You know, it will have a flow according to the expression, right? This will also have a flow and then go down. This one has a flow, right? You see it. Again, it's the same mask shape that we want to have. If you see the movie, what's the movie? The Incredibles. You'll see how they just made it easier for themselves just by animating that mask that I was talking about. And again, I didn't make up this. This is not my invention. I didn't invent this stuff. I'm not saying that whatever I'm saying here, I just made it up. These are the things that I've been learned through the years, and I'm sharing with you guys. Obviously, you guys are free to explore more and to figure out more of this. But yeah, like see how like the mask and everything just flow. And probably here on this sheet is good to have as a reference, but I like to see this as a guide for the rest of the expressions, right? And I think like about in terms of expression, there's so many ways of doing this, so I'm not gonna go for like every expression to figure it out, right? Yeah, I know about the pure ref. I have pure ref. I just didn't have enough time to to do it. All right. So those two things of the mask is really important, and I'm gonna bring another file that will probably help me. Let's see. I also downloaded a bunch of images of Zootopia, and yeah, these ones are great. Also, I think like animals are better for figuring out the mapping of the face. Like I was saying, like these are easier. I feel like if we, yeah, these are easier. I'm gonna actually use this, even though the image is a little bit low res. It's okay. Right? And I totally support you guys going and doing the same thing I'm doing and analyze other people, other artwork who are other reference that you might have on your computer that you can like look like I'm doing right now and study and draw on top of it. Actually, one of my homeworks was to do that. You have to take an image like this and then break it down to like the design, like inverse engineer the whole thing of the expression, so you will like learn it, right? So these are great, especially like these animals is great, and not only because of like the expressions are good and everything, it's just the flow and the points. And when I'm talking about the eyebrows like meeting with each other, it's like you know that this is right because the eyebrow is not like this and then any black. The eyebrow is not like this and the other one is like this. No, there's a flow that goes from here to here. You can give it a unibrow if you want to call it, but this is just the mask, right? And this is how they do the animation, or they used to do the animation in Disney, right? You have reference points on your mask, and then based on that you will draw the mask of your character, and then draw your expressions, right? Oops, I think I made this. You know, and even though you see an eye, I just see the whole sphere, right? Later you can just close the eyelid and then bring the expression there, right? And so yeah, like you can bring that expression there, and even like I said, you can bring the lower eyelid and then probably bring another expression to the character. But yeah, overall I will use the mask to track my different points to have a more three-dimensional way of drawing my character, especially the expressions, like I'm saying. And all of the masking and setting is still here. The eyebrows are here, and the one is flowing to the other eyebrow. you know. And the mask, again, the eyes are there. And then you have, well, you have the overlap of the nose. And then you have your mask. Goes in the middle. These are good because this is more three-dimensional, but the mask is there, right? You see how like I'm breaking down this into a simple shapes. Notice how like I will probably track if I'm doing like an expression. I will probably track these points here. Will be the points that I will try to track when I'm doing my, you know, my expressions, right? Obviously, all of the flow will have to go with the eyebrow, right? So you notice that most of the Disney animals, they have that kind of mask, right? You don't see it because it's part of the design, but that's how they manage to keep track. Even like they will probably keep track of these points here or these points here of the design, so they don't lose the model, right? That's the model that I was talking about at the beginning, right? And the rest is obviously complemented with the mouth, and that's the other parts. But now we're drawing the eyes, and well, animals also have the ears, so you can even go like lower like this, right? You can go lower like this, and it changes the whole feeling of the character, right? Right? Change a little bit from. And the good thing is that you can turn this on and off and try. And then try to change the expression a little bit and practice. So I definitely suggest you just to draw on top of it. Like now he was like worried about something, but now he's like not that worried about it. It's like, oh really? So that's what you want to say to me? You know, I'm not surprised. Huh. Right? Or you can have it like really low and like tired, you know? I'm so tired going to work every day. Even though I left the eyelid, I leave the iris here, sorry. Right? So it gives like breaking down, yeah, like the 3D shapes. You have to think that in a three-dimensional way. So you have solidity. That's the part that I'm trying to, that's the point that I want to go, I'm explaining. Is to have that representation from the 2D to the 3D, so your drawings are more solid, right? So like breaking down all of these are a great exercise. All of them are awesome, but look at them. They go for like extremes, right? They go for like a very open eyes, but they again, it's the same, right? And I love to do this, by the way, because I also practice myself, like the flow still running there. There's the center here. Even the lines, they just drew the lines, so it's easier to track that, right? Surprise, we have our eyes wide open. Smaller. Iris, pupil, right? The nose is a little bit more neutral, right? And again, following the mask is always good. I did this with drawing. My homework was one of the homework was to do this for Balto. I don't know if you know this movie from anime from I think it was Disney. I don't remember which one it was. But the movie had to break down the whole character, the whole shape of the character, and then design how this character was. The shape of it, right? What is the main shape of this character? And then that's how you can like improve your character design, because you can break this down, you study them, and when you draw, it becomes part of your style. You remember these points, you remember the mask, right? Oh, sorry, the eyes, and the right. But always, like I said, with the mask technique there in mind. It will help you so much. I always look for it when I'm doing my drawings, even if it's anime, manga, whatever. I go for this. I learn so much, and it's just like breaking down to those to these expressions. Like, so you can do this with this character, or you can do it with the one from Disney, and you can have fun with this. And also you learn how to construct and everything, right? And like I said, like the mask, make sure that the eyebrow flow. You see that? I just want to make sure because I see a lot of this, and I used to make it, and sometimes I made my mistakes. I'm not saying like, oh, I never do this, I always so right. No, I sometimes I made my mistakes, so I look at my drawings like, there's something weird here. I'm not, something weird not working. I need to see what it is, and then like, okay, I need to go back to basics and see what I'm doing. So again, the eyes inside the skull, draw the two eyes. Sorry, the iris first. It's good to draw the iris and then the eyelid. Keep the mask. The mask will be probably around here. Right? Because we're seeing more of the top of the character right now. So that's why the nose is a little bit further down there, right? And I don't draw this. This is not the kind of things I draw all the time, but I just love to do this or like to understand this stuff, because then you might want to introduce another character on your manga, even though you might have cute, sexy girls in your manga. You can introduce a character that has more expressions, and you can have fun with this, right? It also will bring like different character to your story, because you have more variety, and then not all the characters are the same character, but with different hair color. This is what I see most of the time. And that happens a lot, right? Same character but different hair color, so therefore they're different. No, the color of my character has a different color. But also try to think about what are the character is feeling, or what is the thing that the character is going through. Like this guy, what is he saying? Like, oh, so you think you're smarter, right? I'm not surprised, right? Again, the flow of the eyebrow. And the thing about the mask again is good because the eyebrows are floating, and we can just make mistakes, right? The eyes are floating, and we can make mistakes. We can draw one smaller or bigger than the other. Happens a lot, Some draw one smaller, some one big. So if we keep the eyebrows in, with a nice proportion and using the mask, it will be easy to keep track of the design of your character. Man, this stuff went from expression to character design, but I think it's important because that's your character, right? You have to want to express different feelings with your character. Let me drink some water. Let me get some more water. Sounds dry. Whew. So far, 1 hour and 30 minutes on this lecture workshop thing. I think next time we can work on photos, and we can draw along. It's good to have this explanation first before I just go and like, oh, just make them happy, just make them sad, I don't want to jump into that before explaining these things. And the best way is to, as I said, or as I just did, is just to draw on top of. And I'm eating some candies too. Okay. So again, going through all of this is amazing, and doing all that breakdown and then apply those things to your character. Again, thinking about the mask and all that. And probably this is like it might be like a little bit easier, but look how these Disney animators or the people who draw these, they basically do that, no? They just like draw that circle, the eyeball, very simplistic, easy to read expression there. Right? Straight to the point. It's nothing like so complicated, right? Right? So there you have that, and then you have this one as well, right? I probably will draw this like the same way. One eyebrow flowing with the next one. Smiley face. You know? Also make sure that your characters are like looking at something. That's something that I want to like make clear here. That happens to a lot of artists, happened to me, happened to a lot of people. And I'm more aware of it because I know this stuff. It's like we can just draw the character like this, right? And then we can say like, no, the character is looking to the right, right? He's looking to the right, and that's it. But it feels like kind of like looking at a dead space, right? Kind of looking at something somewhere. So we have to make sure that we want to tell that the character is looking to the right, so we push that iris to the side. Just make sure that is there. We can overlook at those things pretty easily. Like in this case, yeah, it's fine. Surprise. But this one, you know, at least I feel like this guy is looking at something somewhere, right? So you don't want to have a character that is like looking like this, like death, you know? That happens a lot. It's like I see amazing paintings and drawings, but then our characters are like kind of weird looking. You don't know what it is. You maybe like bringing those two eyes more closer, like instead of drawing the eyes like this, you try to bring like this, you know, try to bring this a little bit more to the center, just a little bit more to the center, and then your characters will be looking at something. Not much, not too much. It's very subtle, but this is very important because I committed the mistake in the past, and I've been there, right? So now your character is actually looking at you and not looking at the dead space, right? Whatever this thing is, right? Something like that, whatever. But this is what I'm trying to say, right? So it's actually looking at you, and not like a dead space. It could happen all the time. It happens. It happened to me in the past, and I corrected. I just moved the iris a little bit. You know, like if you look at this photo, you can see that the iris is even like pushing down the eyelid. So that's extra care that you can add to your drawing, right? So that also, we can forget about these things, and they're very subtle, but they bring so much to your drawing, right? So like if I was gonna draw that, you know, you put this here, you put this one here, right? Maybe your eyelid will change. Well, actually no, it should be like looking up. Sorry. Sumimasen. You know, looking up. So probably my eyelid will be like influenced by that iris there. Not like crazy, but you know, it's like a little extra touch, attention to details, right? So the reason why I'm not using like a specific style or anything like anime manga or this style from this anime is because expressions have to be very basic and to the point. So when I'm drawing my characters, even like it's manga or whatever, I'm doing like live drawing, I want to think about that. These are awesome to practice, by the way, if you guys want to get more knowledge with your characters. Instead of doing the same angry or like not happy or like slightly disgusted, then just go to these expressions. So one of the tips that I wanted to give to, now I'm looking at my sheet here because I have a paper that I wrote today, and the tips are tracking points of the face, right? Those were the things I was talking about, the mask, talking about the points here of the eyebrow. Sorry, let me get the right color, yellow. Tracking the points. There are plenty of points to track, but I think I want to make this sure that we are tracking some points like of the face, right? Tracking these points in the eyebrows, tracking the shape of those, right? So you want to have tracking of those parts. So here it is. I'm gonna write it here. So the first advice, or some of the tips, is to keep track keep tracking of the points of the face. And by the way, guys, probably I might be explaining a lot of things at once, but this is a string. This is a string for us to learn, to grow, whatever. So I'm gonna go back again and revise this and make it more simple and more easy for you guys to understand, and give more examples of this. So this is the first time I actually, well, not the first time, but this is one of the first time I explained this, like, just off the cuff, you know, just like I'm just gonna do this string for today, because I was gonna draw hands, but ended up doing like expression because you guys asked me for it, and I know. So okay, so keep tracking of the face. One thing to keep in mind also for expressions is to have asymmetry. So have asymmetry. Think about I think it's write it like this. If not, kill me. I think it's like that. I'm not sure. Let me check. I know how to draw. I don't know how to write. Oh yeah, it was good. Not bad. Right? So think about asymmetry. Think about asymmetry when you do your expressions. This is something that I also learned looking at actually a comic book magazine called Wizard. And Wizard used to have a section of how to draw tips and stuff like that. And that stuff is stuck in my mind for like forever. So basically, if you have something like this lady's photos here, sorry, it's too huge. Humongous, right? So if we have this face here, and if we think about asymmetry, basically we are having two expressions in one, right? Right? So you see this one here, right? We have this expression, and then if we look at the other expression, it's like this, right? So basically we're having 2 for 1. And that will also help us to combine, right? So we have like one expression like this, but the other one is like that, right? Surprise and like, I don't know why I would call this. I actually need to be able to tell what are the expressions, but this is like yeah, like, so if you combine them both, you have your own unique expression, right? Right? So you have one expression on one side and one expression on the other. So, but the situation is that, as I said, we have to keep tracking of our face and our tracking our points, right, of our face, and that being the point of the eyebrows. You see, if you notice, I don't know which color to use. If you notice, the eyebrows just flow with the other one, even though the expressions are different. They are on the same face. So the eyebrows just flow with another, and the mask as well. I would say the mask here also probably shrinks and is more relaxed on the other one. I probably would like actually shrink it more and open it more on the other side, right? Basically the same thing I was doing with the wolf, with the wolf, what's the fox, sorry, right? And we all do this stuff, by the way. This is not like she has done this and that's it. Yeah, you think about unibrow, right? I think that's a good way to save this. Think about a unibrow, and that will help you a lot. And again, like I said, even though if this is a human being, you can also draw the eye, right? This is that kind of like the eyeball is here, the eyelids are on the top, but you know, you see what I was saying also about the lower eyelid goes up, and this one is more relaxed, gives a lot of expression to the character. So yeah, that's why I wanted to show this. Is basically think about asymmetry, and basically think about two expressions in one. Let me see. Think about two expressions in one, right? Actually, no. Yeah, two expressions. Oh, two expressions combined. So you can pick happy and sad, angry and joy. You can mix them and try to see what they come up. Right? So that was the other point I wanted to say about keeping the asymmetry when thinking about expressions of the face, especially with this girl, Katy Perry. Thank you, Katy Perry, for your help. I'll group this and I'm gonna save it here. Then I'm gonna go. Well, another tip that I have, I already said that. Actually, just right now I was just reading. Let me get this out of the way. I have a mess, guys. Sometimes I'm a mess, so I know how to draw, but well, I think I know how to draw, and then I write, and I have a mess. I mean, this is what I call having a presentation on the spot. No preparation, but preparation because I already know this, but no preparation in terms of presentation. But this is still good, I think. Okay. The next point, and just to keep refreshing, I just want to start adding all of these tips here, and that they have like no order. So I'll try to organize it better. So think about the eyes combine with the eyebrows as a set. Don't think about the eyes and then, oh, the eyebrows are just gonna do everything for me. Okay? All of these, think about it all together. Eyes combine with the eyebrows. Another tip, this is another tip that I should put here before I forget. Think about tense and relax. Think about tense and relaxed. And that this goes along really well with the think about the two expressions combined, right? You have one tense and then you have one relax. And also think about squish. I think it's a squish. Did you say it like that? Squish and stretch. Squish, stretch. Right? So think about these terms when you draw your expressions. Tense, relax, squished, stretched. Probably squished. I'm not sure, guys. You will have to correct me there. And stretched. Right? So think about these terms when you are drawing or analyzing other expressions or other other things of your drawing, of the expressions you are like trying to learn. Okay. I already said here, avoid staring and at a blank space. No, it's an empty space. An empty space. Use what I say about the eyes, like not looking to a dead space. Kind of makes the character look weird and soulless. Even though the expression might be fine, it's a squash or squished. Well, you will forgive me. I'll figure it out later. It doesn't matter. This is the way I do things, guys. Squash and stretch. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I say squish because I don't know. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. Yeah. Thank you for the other one. There you go. An empty space. And the other one is gonna be squash. Where is it? Yeah, squash. Sorry, guys. It's been a long time since I've been searching for these terms, and I don't say squash every day. I just say, what I'm gonna eat today. I need to take a shower. I wanna play some games. I wanna have fun. I'm bored. I want to draw. I don't say squash, but maybe a stretch. I say. Okay, so think about those things when you're drawing. Another one, I know this seems like a lot, but I'm giving all the tips I have, man. I'm giving all my tips, giving it all away. And yeah, I will keep adding more, but I guess the other one will be to have a clear. Where are you? Yeah, have a clear. A clear emotion in mind. Okay? And with that, it's like try to think about the drawing you're doing, but start thinking with the emotion first. Like, don't try to construct the drawing and then later try to see what is the emotion of the character. Right? So these are some of my tips that I have here for you guys. Whoops, that was a stretch, or should I say a squash, right? So these are all my tips that I have. And this is the way I have things, right? Those are the things I have talked so far here. And well, once we have this, let me jump into other things. I don't want to make this too extra long. We're already reaching the 2 hours, so probably we could like stop at a certain point. Maybe I will just do some extra drawings after this, trying to bring all the concepts together, and then we can have another string where I explain the mouth, the connection with the mouth, some of the muscles of the face, character having like the shoulders, the body expressions, like the body language. So there's a lot of things to explain. That's why like 2 hours. This stuff people usually like explain it like in 3 classes, 4 classes in the school, right? They explain a few things, you practice, you come back and you do it, and you're actually throwing a lot of shit. Well, sorry, I'm throwing a lot of knowledge to you, right? So yeah, and I guess like a study would be like study. I think I already said this stuff, but just in case, let me delete all of this stuff or like save it somewhere. ちょっと待ってください. Alright, let's shoot this. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna draw some faces, and I'll tell you the things that I like to do when I'm drawing them, and then I'm gonna end the string, and then I'm gonna expand more of these later on the future string, because I'm gonna be doing more streams every weekend anyways, so this is a good place to start, and there's other tips I want to cover, but this is like a good way to start. I already gave some books of that you guys can use, and I also gave you some other tips of how to practice, how to think about the characters and different situations. I gave you some names already, so you can check that, and you can review this again and again. It's always good. I've learned this through the years, so it's always good to have this kind of like material always at hand, especially if you want to do something more with your work, and you want to do that with, because you can do this to any character, to whatever. You put some eyes and it becomes a character, right? You can, that's kind of like what Disney does, right? You can draw like a mug, and then the mug, you put some eyes there. Like let's use the method that I was explaining. You draw those 2 eyes, the nose, right? You do the thing with the mask I was explaining. Maybe asymmetry. Yeah, maybe some asymmetry. Think about that. Clear. Obviously, also practicing helps. I mean, practicing warm up, right? There you go. You have a mug, and the mug has a face, but also that face has to have to fit in the 3D model, right? Again, making sure that there's a flow on the eyebrow, making sure you have the eyeball there. You draw your mask. Oops, sorry. Right? This is a very knowledgeable mug. He's judging you because you have been drinking too much coffee. Huh? There's a long nose there. By the way, it's still a mug. That's not an ear. I have a mug like this, by the way. And then he's like, shh. Right? So if you put an eyes to something, it would become a character. So it doesn't matter whatever the expression you have, right? So I will say, I will give you some exercise, and then probably will be drawing a bunch of like simple faces. Actually, I'm gonna say that. I probably will take my reference sheet here for the expressions, and taking these expressions and then try to, like, you know, practice some of those. And for practicing, you don't have to have that character complete, but you guys can, you know, can always start with like drawing 2 pairs of eyes, breadth of eyes, and then I'm gonna pick, let's say, curious, and then curious is telling me that the eyebrows will go like up like this. You can also think about the feeling of this, right? Think about the eyebrows go up. Curious, like what's going on over there? Was it curious? What is it? Curious, yeah. Like looking like down like this. You know, again using the mask. So if you have a character that you want to draw, you can just do that. Let me go back a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna do it again. I need to warm up, guys. I've been talking, just talking. I need to warm up a little bit. Like satisfied. Let's do satisfied. Yeah, try to connect that. I get lost in this. Okay. Satisfied. Let's do it. Let's get rid of the angry one because that's one that we want to get rid of. Because you always think, oh, we're just gonna draw something angry, and that's it, right? You can even put it like in a. Somebody who's sad, you know, the thing is like you draw the eyeballs there. Sad, so it goes up, right? Think about the expression there. Very simple, man. Just keep it simple. Like probably the maybe the drawing is not like on character, like completely, or like it's not the character design that they are drawing right now, but it's just to have the language there, right? Of that. Maybe he's depressed. I think he's depressed. Depressed. Right? Sad. Huh? Then we can have let's see. I mean, this mug, always good, you know. You have the two eyeballs. In this case, they're gonna be close, right? Like this person knows everything. Or sometimes like only open one eye, right? If we think about asymmetry. Right? And sometimes you don't need to actually draw them separately. You can just draw the same character. That you can just draw a face, and probably I should have done that. Just draw one face and then start changing those expressions as you go, right? So maybe this is a good exercise. Use the reference sheet to use it to your advance, and then use it, right, for like practicing this basic one. Like that. This is a demure. Yeah. Demure. demure. Okay. And yeah, guys, we can just keep doing this all night, practicing all of these things. Let me see. Take all of these out, and let's see one of the drawings that I have already at the start. You know, I did this so we can just create like the base of our face. I'm just gonna draw this pretty quickly. By the way, this brush that I'm using has like no pressure, so that's why the lines are so intense. But I'm gonna draw lightly the eyeballs. The mouth is gonna be neutral. Let me add the whatever, the hair. Okay, it's back. How many hours did you draw with your pen? I mean, as many as I can. I don't have an amount of hours that I will tell you like, oh, this is the amount of hours that I draw every day, you know? But I don't know, something like this. By the way, as I said, I haven't warmed up too much today. Regardless, we can have something like this as a base for our character, and then we can start like playing with different expressions of things that we can look at, and then we can build from there. Right? So I'm gonna start drawing some expressions, and I'm gonna like create a new layer on top of this, and yeah, I'm gonna start with like this one here. Like, let's go with this eyebrow, right? He's gonna be like doubtful, like, I'm not sure whatever you're telling me is the right thing, or I don't want to know about that. Right? Or like, I'm tired of these excuses. Or like, I'm gonna get you later. Right? Notice the eyebrows are lower. The mouth could be like, yeah, but it's better not to have the mouth on here. Where is this line? Okay, here. I see some other questions. Let me read here as well as I'm drawing, so we can have good time. I don't speak English. Love your art. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for watching all of this here, looking at me struggle after explaining everything. You know, probably his nostrils like flaring a little bit. He's getting pissed, right? He's not having fun yet. Right? So this could be one, and then I can duplicate this one and then change it for something else, right? I can just start with an eyebrow. Let's do the asymmetry thing that we were talking about. And as I said, probably the eyebrow will lift when it has some asymmetry. Right, he's looking to the side. And also have fun with this stuff, man. Just have fun with this, right? Again, like keeping the flow of the unibrow, keeping the mask. Right? Let me delete this. Kind of like working with like kind of like animation, right? Like if you're like animating something. If you guys haven't done animation, then suggest you to do some suggestions, some drawings, and animate. Basically, you're doing some kind of like animation here, right? So this line is also like goes to this. Maybe we can like make it more like suspicious, like let's use the lower lid like I said before to make it more like evilish. You know, the eyelid, lower eyelid is going up. It takes time. There's always a pressure to get the drawings like done really quickly because I'm on the live stream, but I also have to like remember to chill and take my time. You know. Today we have this expression and we went from here to here. You know? Like, that's where the treasure is. I don't want to hear about it. Yeah, the same thing, right? And then we might think that we have a strong expression, but like I said before, you can like take the mask and the mask and the mask again, and we can select those eyebrows and then just like push this stuff. Oh wow, look at that, just by that, like I don't wanna know anymore, right? So disinterested about life. That's another, you see, that's another expression that we have, but it has to flow. You see, even though the drawing of the eyebrow is not perfect, as long as it's flow well with the at the top with the mask, it doesn't matter much, you know. So there could be one. And then the other one. And this is actually the fun part, is just to create different variations. I love to do that. I do this on on my non-safe for work. I change expressions a lot for my characters, so for the characters that I'm drawing. So it's good to have that ability to change the different expressions, and I probably will add that. No, he's worried about. Did you say that smoking straws gives cancer? Also have to sell that roundness of the eye. Don't forget about that. It gets really stupid, but again, you can refine this all over again with the right drawing, taking your time, and actually kind of going too fast. But you know, you can drift, right? Probably make it more worry by making that. Actually, give me that eyebrow, and I'm gonna like redraw it again. He's not feeling good. He had a lot of chipotle. She had a lot of Mexican food. And probably that will be a good way to do a future live streams. To do like other expressions that are more like wild and crazy. So I need to do more research and then bring them. Right? This guy hasn't slept well in days. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the mouth probably in a future stream because I don't want to make this stream too long anyways. But yeah, there's a lot of things about the mouth, and I wanted to explain how to, like I said, like open the mouth of the character. That's something that, you know, maybe sounds simple to some people, but actually make this make the whole jaw like actually rotate from here, you know. Let me delete the base. Oh, I cannot delete the base. Well, but yeah, basically like opening the mouth, like, and adding more expression to the mouth as a, you know, because there's not only the eyes, it's just so many things to cover in one live stream, and very impossible. But the things I wanted to explain, I think they're very important. They're really good tips, you know. And he's actually like, I love you. I wanted to say these words to you. Right? So there's a lot of like things that I'm gonna be covering in the future, so you guys can check in the future for more live streams. Cannot cover everything in one day, you know. So you say how we came to this, and this guy is hopeless. I don't know, guys. You can have fun with this stuff. The reason that I have some weird lines is because I'm messing up with the base. No, I don't want to use the liquify filter. I don't want to use the liquify because it will change the whole thing like too much. There's some things that are solid in the face, and there are things that are soft in the face, right? So that those things you have to like keep in mind. I think you can use a liquify, but it will like probably change a lot of things, and you might lose a structure on your drawing because you're trying to like move some pencils, right? So some pixels, sorry. And for those who are asking, yeah, for our Spanish, there's a Spanish channel up there. I'm gonna be streaming Monday, around 3 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure to like tune en español, Reiq en español. Está mi canal allí. Así que revísenlo para el lunes, que estaré explicando otras cosas sobre el dibujo. ¿Ok? The live streams are every Saturday from between 5 to 6 p.m. like today. So every Saturday I'm going to be doing a stream. If it doesn't happen, probably the next week will happen. So every weekend, stream every Saturday. And for those who want to see more streams from me, just chilling, drawing, and whatever, you can follow me on Twitch. Now I'm a partner of Twitch, so you can follow me on Twitch and Twitch TV. Twitch.tv, and then you can search there for Reiq. Also the links is on the description. Reiq TV. Okay, so you guys can go there and check the streams during the week in English, Spanish. I speak Japanese. I'm silly and do stupid shit. So you can just follow me here for all that fun stuff. And here on YouTube, I'm trying to do more educational things and more to, you know, get some good content that you guys can check often on the channel, and you know, more about live drawing. There's a lot of things I want to like do live streams. I think it's a good way to explain better, and people can just watch it and draw along and whatever, you know. So yeah, let's see how long we have here. We're having for like 2 hours and 19 minutes. For the next one, the next round, because I don't think I can just keep rolling for like too long here because I'm getting tired. But I'm gonna prepare all the things, and one of the other things that I have prepared for future live stream about expressions and all that, and I'm gonna be using something more like real expressions like this, and taking this and making the studies from this, so we can study together, drawing the face and doing all of these expressions on this. I just didn't want to do this like, oh, just draw expressions, and then like people will be like, hey, how do I actually know how these things kind of work, you know? Yeah, this stream is gonna be archive, so you can continue like watching the rest of it, or you can come back to it. So these are the things I'm like planning for the next time. Just to use this as a reference sheet, put it on here, and do like quick drawings about all these expressions and study together like I did with the live drawing, and that way it will be easier. I just didn't want to like jump against, as I said, into this, and you guys are like, okay, so I don't know how to do this stuff, like how I'm gonna do. And obviously there are more other things I want to keep like bringing on. Also, I wanted to like use the expressions and use it for, like, example, this character here, for this dog. Like, I have a lot of ideas, just the time is not good. Like, it will be too long, and kind of want to keep it like that. So, for example, taking these kind of like dogs, or that kind of cool dog, and then taking that dog and put it here, and, you know, have some fun with different characters and different things, like, you know, the filter that they have used on the on the different animals like Disney, right? So you can just draw, you know, the whole right? You can draw the mask on top of this dog in a structure. Right? Again, with the mask thing that I was explaining, you know, that we can just do this stuff. Actually, I kind of doing it already, but it's kind of fun to do this, right? And this is actually kind of easier because I already kind of did some of the studies right now. So, probably gonna like play with the ears. Right? But again, if you have that like the mask and stuff, that you can like And then you can play with other elements and give it some cool glasses and stuff. Some shades, right? But that's just that extra stuff. And then that will be like something extra that I want to do on the next next streams, you know. So yeah, I think I'm gonna like I think it's gonna be good for until like today. I'm gonna come back in the future for another round, and I'm gonna like talk about also storytelling. I'm probably gonna repeat again the stuff about the dog. I just wanted to give you like a preview of all the things I'm preparing little by little on the streams. Just make sure to keep checking the website and checking the streams. This is like the cover of the thumbnail of the stream, and these are just the studies I've been doing for myself to improve my my painting and improving my character kind of like design improve my character design overall. And I wanted to talk later about like storytelling and all the things related to expressions and all of that. So this is actually like more things I'm practicing, and I'm trying to like improve with my work. And I was like saying like, well, for this it looks fine, it looks good, and it looks like it has like emotion, but we need something to connect this in a terms of a storytelling. And probably I will probably like add like a bee or like a fly. I think it would be for funds, you know. You can add like a fly here, and this is kind of like the reason why the expression is happening. She's pissed off with this fly, right? Actually, I should have drawn the fly on a different layer. Don't forget to do that, guys. Right? So it could be like, you know, there's a fly, and then the fly is like zzz and shit, and like she's tired of this fly, and then you know, that's the moment where she's like, oh, you know. And I still look at this, and it can be pushed way more, right? We can like push the lips more to the top like this, and we can I need to probably like tilt the nose a little bit more to the top, maybe lower this. I mean, these require painting skills though, so it's not only drawing, but you know, we can push things, and like I said, the lower lid, we can just go more intense with that look, right? You see how I improved that stuff? And I did this like 3 months ago. But coming back to those basic knowledge of what I'm teaching right now with you guys, you can actually, you know, bring that to other level. Maybe the drawings that I'm making right now before were not like amazing drawings, but you can see how things can be like work and being pushed further than that. And then you will be able to draw this. This is the point. All of this goes to this. This is the point that you guys want to reach someday in your life. Being able to draw a smiley face like this. This is the goal, and this is why we're working hard to be better artists. Okay? But no, that's just me being silly. Just being silly. So yeah. So that's the part of what I'm saying about like I wanted to talk about storytelling, right? The drawing before was fine, but then like adding that part of the storytelling of the fly, we can connect to a more emotional level with our characters and our expressions. Okay, so that's kind of like the point of this, and that's why I use it on the thumbnail. But I'm gonna go further with this on the future streams. So this is a good way to start getting used to this and start getting to explore, especially all the tips that I said at the very beginning. You gotta go back and then look for the books, look for the references, go to my Pinterest board and check all of that. I have a cool expressions there that we're gonna be using in the future. Like we can do like studies like these where we have like the same model, but we're gonna do like quick studies of each of the expressions to have like a better sense of this. And then we're gonna have a lot of fun creating different characters, different things, and having fun. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna stop right now, but you guys can ask me some questions, and at this point I'm open to answer more questions that you guys have. And then I'm gonna like say goodbye because I'm losing my voice and I need to keep talking on other things. So and yeah, and I also have other materials that I have here that I'm gonna, because there's a lot of things to talk about expressions and look at it. Also, the anatomy of the muscles of the face and how it works, and little by little, it's impossible to cover this in 2 hours. All right, so yeah, storytelling, expressions, and all of that. The Pinterest is on the description again. The link is there. You can go to there. You can follow me there. I'm always updating my Pinterest boards with a lot of different information and different drawings and different material that I like to collect. And so yeah, and so yeah, try to draw different things too. No, like try to draw different animals, different things. Like have fun with whatever you have, things you want to draw in the future, and all that stuff. How I do not look my drawings to how can I make my drawings not look flat? Well, think about a structure, right? Like I said before, think about a three-dimensional space. Think about the size of an object. If it's a face, think about the faces, like the three-dimensional space, the ear, the eyes, the nose. Also, if you want to make drawings that are less flat, try to overlap some shapes. If you have a circle, don't draw another circle like this next to it, so it becomes really flat, right? If it's just flat, it's just two circles. But if you have a circle that is like overlapping another one, and the other one is like behind here, and then you add some kind of shadow that unites them both, then you will have a drawing that is not flat. It has a shadow and there's overlapping. So overlapping always helps to break that. And if you're drawing a face, and we are drawing the eyeballs, like I said, you have the eyeballs here. You want to draw that nose like overlapping the eye, right? So that way you have a more three-dimensional sense. The nose overlapping the face. So there are little things that you can use to overlap different parts of the body and then create a more three-dimensional space on your drawings. How many layers did I use for the thumbnail? I don't know actually. I don't know. I used different ones. I think that was one of the first facial expressions that I was practicing. So I did a couple of them. I think I did the skin on a different one. I did the hair on a different one. And then because I wanted to control the colors and the values and everything, I did it in separate layers, like the skin. But I didn't do the shadow in one layer. I didn't do the lights in one area. I just had the skin, I had the hair separate, and added the glass in a different layer, the lenses in a different layer, and then the background. So try to keep it as minimum as possible. I didn't add every layer to like light and shadow, because these are studies, and the point of the study is not to like, it's actually to study the thing, and don't think about too many layers or whatever. So I try to keep it as little as possible. Okay. So yeah, overlapping, so you can avoid flat drawings, is very useful. So overlapping is the rule, right? So try to overlap your shapes, and then you will have a better, it will look better. Rendering workshop. Yeah, I could do like a rendering workshop, something very simple, like talking about shadows and lights. And it's very basic, but man, it is the base of everything. I'm probably gonna be doing the shading one on my well, I could do it here too, but mostly my Spanish one. because I think that we need that information in the Spanish as well. You know, the light, the bouncing lights, and all of that stuff. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of videos. And I just, little by little, I'm doing the streams and I'm teaching all this stuff. I also have to work. I have to keep up with Patreon and do all the other things that I have to do. I have like a reflecting light from the bottom here because our floor is red or pinkish, how lights reflect and bounces. How do you motivate yourself to do more studies instead of fun drawings? I think studies are fun drawings, I don't think studies are bored. Actually, I like to do study because I'm learning and I'm practicing, and I'd never think about it like it's not fun. It is fun. I mean, I did expression of, I don't think I have it. Do I have it here? Yes, here it is. So my study was from this photo. Actually, I should bring it. I should bring them both. Should bring it here. And let me rasterize this. And let me take this. Let me increase the size. The image is really low resolution. I couldn't find it higher, but I really wanted to practice that expression in specific, and I did it combining two things, right? I wanted to like study a little bit of this, even though it was hard because I couldn't see. There's a lot of pixels, but using the reference, right? Using that as a reference to inform me of the things I'm missing, or the things I need to like understand to get that expression, but then also myself like adding my creativity and adding my knowledge to push things like further, right? Like I explained with the mask, you want to push further the eyebrows to the top, and those eyebrows also like kind of like pushing with the direction of the mask that she has, and then the eyes, I wanted to make them more like shocked, so I open more the eyes, the mouth is the same, pretty much the same, but the eyes and everything I just push it a little bit further because I know how to work with expressions. But the rendering I practiced was the rendering of the nose and the highlights, where should I put the highlights and all of that. That was part of the practice. And then once I practiced that and I finished that part of the practice, I just went ahead and added the rest of the painting. I had fun painting, figuring out the lights. Like this was just the base of it, but if you compare both, you get the feeling of the expression and of the drawing, of the intention. But everything that's happening around, that was just from imagination, right? I just made it up, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know, she's going crazy with her powers. I don't know, she ate too much burritos. I don't know, something like an idea like that. The suit is too tight, or something. I didn't even add the hands because it's too silly, but that was part of the study. And I also didn't want to spend like a lot of time just researching or spending a lot of time on this, and also did studies like this from the photo, focusing on improving like the shape, studying studying the shapes and how like they squash, and the relaxation that I'm talking about. This face is more relaxed on this area, but it's more tense here. And now like I see the drawing again, I can bring that eyelid a little bit higher. But those are things that you see after, like, right now I was practicing those things and I remind myself like, oh, actually it will look better this way, or it might not look better, maybe it won't look that good, maybe it does because of the squash, also how things are pulling up this way, the direction of the hand. So there's a lot of things I'm studying when I see this. So I'm not like copying something just like, oh, I'm just copying this and that's it. I just want to like figure out, be more analytic with my drawings, and then add a little bit more, right? And just a few lines, things can change, right? You can change the expression with a few lines. So it depends where you want to go or what you want to do. You want to keep it cute, or you want to make her like a little bit more, you know, not in the mood, unhappy, or something like that. So yeah, these are part of the studies, and actually would like to do more studies now that I'm doing all of these expressions and all this stuff with you guys. You know, it's not a squish, it's squash. Sorry. I'm trying to explain everything. もし訳ございません。俺のスペイン語はそんなに、俺の英語はそんなに上手くないんですけど、まあ、説明のためだけで頑張ってます。I'm trying my best. Okay? So that's it, guys. I'm out. I'm hungry. I need to drink some water. I need to chill. And I need to finish some work for Patreon. So make sure to, again, to check all the channel. The link is up there for the Spanish channel. Make sure to check these again. Make sure to, I don't know, follow, subscribe. Welcome to the channel if it's the first time you have been here. Check Twitch. Now that I have Twitch and a partner of Twitch, and streaming a lot there during the week. So if you guys want to see more of my squash mistakes or whatever squishing, you can go to Twitch to squish with me. Let's squish with Twitch in the squishing zone. Okay? And yeah, about the tablet, you can see it on the top of the interface, so it's there. So yeah, keep practicing, keep drawing, review this, and more content is coming anyways about expressions and all that. There's going to be practices, and there's stuff about hands that I want to do. There's stuff about like rendering. There's a lot of stuff incoming, and there's definitely another part from this because I want to keep pushing this further than just this video. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. You guys have been amazing today, and thank you for watching all the video and being nice to each other. And yeah, rock on. And these are all the notes, by the way. Now that we're here, these were all the notes. Let me increase this. There you go. Yeah, these are the notes that I took for the this is the behind the scenes. All the notes for the eyes and things. I still need to explain some of the other things here, but yeah, some preparation for you guys. So thank you very much for supporting the artwork and be so nice and sharing everything and liking the work and following and all that. And keep practicing, keep getting better, and stay awesome. Okay? So, and stay safe too. Stay safe. Alright? So, mata ne. Bye bye. Sayonara. Mata kondo ne. Muchas gracias, chicos. Gracias por venir. El lunes a las 3 de la tarde en el canal de español para los que quieren escucharme en español. Así que nos vemos allí. Alright? Bye.